Any other studio head would have been shown the door at least 5 years ago after Solo bombed at the box office.
Oh, Solo sucked. What's going on, the Nova Squad? Welcome back to the channel. So, I had some great news. Kathleen Kennedy has now finally had left Star Wars. Thank God, because like the last couple of projects that the franchise have been pushing out, it wasn't really that great. Now, I will say the Kenobi series I really like. The Ahsoka series I like really well. I don't understand the Acolyte show. I don't understand its purpose there. Now things are, I do agree that people should be included in certain areas and whatnot, but don't change the whole entire concept of Star Wars just to actually like make yourself important, because it doesn't really make any sense. She had fundamentally changed what the Force is. Now, like, again, I'm not like a huge, I am a huge fan of Star Wars, but as far as like knowing the deep dives of the understanding of what the Force is, I do know some of it, but like not like an actual guru, like knowing every single step or every single aspect on how the Force actually uses whatever. So, I can actually try to sit there and explain everything, but I think the Critical Drinker can actually say it best. You know, he actually says his piece and actually makes fun of it and everything else, which, you know, I actually like him a lot. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. You get the song in the background?
It's done. Yes, Mr. Frodo. It's over now.
Well, it finally happened. After years of rumour and speculation, false claims, deception and ejaculation, it seems that Kathleen Kennedy is finally leaving Lucasfilm. I know, we've heard this same thing 100 times over from every clickbait, algorithm-chasing rumour merchant on YouTube, but in this case, it looks like it's actually legit. All the major trades are reporting the same thing. She's decided to step down when her contract expires at the end of this year. She hasn't been fired, she's not leaving in disgrace, and she hasn't been forced out by some internal coup. She's going out as we all knew she would, when she was damn well good and ready, probably to a shower of Lifetime Achievement Awards, meaningless accolades and fake praise from the shill media, not to mention the golden handshake to end all golden handshakes, but leaving she is. This, dear viewer, is it. The Kennedy era of Star Wars is at an end. And wow, what an era it's been. Tell me, what was your favourite aspect of her tenure? Was it her stunning and brave decision to relaunch a multi-billion-dollar franchise with a trilogy of movies that had no particular plan or creative roadmap? Was it her savvy move of hiring an arrogant, pretentious wannabe auteur with zero respect or understanding of the franchise? And
like, literally, it's just like every single like major franchise have been trying to like change up the fundamental. Okay, because like it started out with Marvel, how like you had a franchise which every single movie was like a huge hit, and then on top of that, they had gone to Jurassic Park. Like all of the original movies were great. Now, like some of them, they were like some of the new ones were pretty good, except for like the one when like all of the dinosaurs are like now like roaming the earth and such. What else? The Indiana Jones one. Like I never understood why they had tried to continue on the history when, you know, the actual character is old. I'm not trying to, you know, bash Harrison Ford, whatever. Ooh, I feel like I gotta sneeze. Thank you. I just don't know or understand why they keep trying to like squeeze out all of the milk out of these franchises as if like they can make a better movie. And on top of that, they were hiring directors that did not understand or actually know nothing about the actual lore nor the material. Like it's almost like how like Bud Light tried to hire that one person to be the face of Bud Light. How do you going to hire what was it, Bruce Bryan? You guys know exactly who I'm talking about. but not understanding the consumer, and then it crumbles, and then you switch him from Shane Gillis, and now you got the franchise somewhat back in order. Like, it does not make any sense at all whatsoever.
And then giving him a creative blank check to write the middle entry of a trilogy where he ended up killing off most of the major storylines and characters.
Yes.
Looking back, would you change anything in your script, or do you stand by all your choices?
Nope, stand by every choice. Stand by every choice.
Yeah, oh, I hated that, man.
Maybe it was the way she wisely failed to properly manage her writers and directors, hiring people who were totally unsuited to the task at hand and leading to costly replacements midway through production. Was it her inspired choice to scrap the hugely popular expanded universe that had been slowly built up over decades, only to realize later that her functionally retarded story group wasn't able to come up with any good ideas of their own, forcing them to steal characters and storylines from the very media that they erased from canon? Was it the way she bravely presided over a 50% drop in revenue over the course of the sequel trilogy, not to mention the first outright box office flop in Star Wars movie history? Perhaps it was the endless stream of speculative new film and TV projects that were announced way too early in development with no real plan, structure, or connection to reality, only to go nowhere and ultimately get cancelled. Maybe you appreciated the inspired way she brought back a 900-year-old Harrison Ford to play Indiana Jones one more time, yet again falling back on the tried and tested formula of making a once iconic straight white male hero into a sad, pathetic old man who's given up on life and has to be shown the correct way by a smart, sassy, spirited young woman who's better than him at everything. Or maybe you were truly impressed by Willow, a TV show so disastrously, embarrassingly awful that Disney actually chose to scrub it from their streaming service and take the tax write-off rather than allow it to continue existing. Or maybe it was her big-brain decision to bombard the audience with a withering barrage of invincible, stoic, all-conquering self-insertion girl bosses shoved into absolutely everything that were so functionally identical they felt like they came off an assembly line, turning a well-known boys brand that everyone could enjoy into a prickly, preachy, pandering girl brand that nobody could enjoy.
Now, like, thing is, I ain't gonna lie, I like the Ahsoka series, but I never really liked the whole, like, the physics of the lightsaber. Like, when a person or anything that is being stabbed or being, like, slain by a saber, that's deadly. Like, how can you survive from a lightsaber? Now, the thing is, again, I know it's all fictional. I know this isn't, my whole entire life, whatever such. It's just my own opinion. Like, it just, like I kind of take this to heart because, well, I mean, I can't really say that because I just said this isn't my life. But, well, as a fan, it's like, I love it when I see something from the books come into live action and is, like, accurately correct. Because, like Kathleen literally had a lot of material that she could have used. Like, literally, okay, so, like, the old Republic, there are so many stories in that one, like, era of lore. They could have used it because a lot of people have been wanting Darth Revan in live action for, like, the longest time. And then for them not even, like, utilizing that, it's like, golly. Like, it was that, Luke's wife, who was, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. She had a purple lightsaber, but then she was, like, a Mandalorian or something like that. Like I remember having, like, a suit that actually resembled with the Mandalorians. And, what else? It's just so much stuff that they could have used, and that you just trying to, like, throw these ideas at directors who have no idea of what the lore is, and on top of that, no respect towards the original material. Like, that part, I never understood that.
Honestly, there's so many achievements to pick from, it's hard to even know where to begin. They say in business that people rise to their level of incompetence, and I think old Kathy here is living proof of that theory. A woman of modest talents but massive ego and ambition, who was able to ride the coattails of industry titans like Spielberg, Lucas and Marshall with a series of not particularly demanding producer gigs, and basically inherited the role of Lucasfilm president from an aging George Lucas almost by default. And this truly is where she came unstuck at last. Lacking the creative vision, the imagination, the leadership ability, or the organisational skills to properly manage a studio like Lucasfilm, she instead commissioned projects left, right and centre, headed by whoever happened to be flavour of the month in Hollywood at the time, with no real understanding or thought for how they'd fit together into a larger franchise. With no particular creative drive of her own, she allowed most of these projects to meander aimlessly, letting creatives do whatever they wanted, even if it was detrimental to the franchise, and only stepping in when things spiraled out of control and it was already too late. She didn't particularly understand Star Wars or Indiana Jones or even Willow, and probably didn't give a shit about any of them. All she really wanted was to put her stamp on them, to reshape them into her image. And well, she definitely did that. Probably not in the way she'd intended, but it won't be forgotten easily, that's for sure. Like some kind of all-consuming pop culture tornado, she rampaged through the world of entertainment, leaving a trail of broken and destroyed IPs in her wake. In a way, she became the public face of everything that people have grown to hate about modern filmmaking. The shameless strip mining of old franchises with lame cash grab sequels and creatively bankrupt spin-offs. The mean-spirited emasculation of aging male heroes and their replacement with abrasive, unlikable girl bosses. The indulgent excesses of divisive identity politics and fan baiting, and the hiring of people based on what diversity boxes they tick instead of what actual skills they have. And what
like literally, it's just like from a creative standpoint, I do understand that you want to have your own like vision to it, but it's just like the whole Acolyte series, it's just like they had tried to push an idea that did not make any sense. Like, okay, spoilers ahead if you haven't even seen the Acolytes. It's like the twins, one who was a Jedi, and then the other one was like a rogue Sith, whatever. And the way that they were created was essentially the same way that Anakin was created, through the Force. And then like it was made by two women when one had created them and one actually had bearing them. And it really breaks the ideology of what the Force is, and then like what is the chosen one, because like that was Anakin's whole thing. He was the chosen one because he was born through the Force. But for you to make up two other characters, that doesn't really make Anakin important. And again, I do understand that the Acolytes had took place thousands of years before the Skywalker thing. But if I can recall, in episode 1 and 2, they had said this never happened. Like, no being was born through the Force like that. I would assume they would have had records of those twins. Or one of them. Say, oh yeah, this happened like 1,000 years ago. Now, again, correct me if I'm wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But, golly, man. Like, it's like...
What really pissed people off the most was her absolute refusal to accept any kind of responsibility for her growing list of failures. Any other studio head would have been shown the door at least 5 years ago after Solo bombed at the box office, but for some reason Kennedy just seemed impervious to criticism. No matter how many times she fucked up, no matter how many franchises she ruined or how much money she flushed down the shitter, not once was she ever rebuked or demoted, and she absolutely refused to acknowledge that anything might be wrong. She just carried on smiling and showing up to premieres, acting like everything was going just great. Couldn't possibly have her take responsibility for her own fuck-ups, could we? Jesus, and they...
and then the actress, and then like, this is the other thing I don't understand. Like, the actors who had played in the Acolytes had trying to spin it into like, oh, people are just racist. No, we don't even give a damn if you're black or white. Mace Windu was a black man in the movie, and he was a badass. We loved him. But that has nothing to do with race, sex, or no gender. It has nothing to do with that. It's the creativity and the lack of respect of the original material. Again, as a creator, such as myself, I do understand that you want to put your own flair to it. Nothing wrong with that. But make the story great. Make the story make sense. Because the lady who had directed and created the Acolytes had said that, oh, Luke Skywalker became Darth Vader and Anakin had destroyed the Death Star. That was her. Look it up. Look it up if you don't believe me. And then try to say, oh, it's just propaganda, whatever. No, you don't know y'all's consumers. That's why Lucasfilms and Star Wars have plummeted. That's why the MCU is plummeting. Now things are, again, I did like the Captain America Brave New World. It was a great story. Now, I would have corrected a few things in the storyline and the marketing team in the trailer, but overall I actually liked it though. But that's why people don't want to go to these movies anymore, because it's just like, well, I mean, like, now it's going to be this and that. It's going to be the same old shit. I apologize for cussing. It just like, I just don't understand how like these super far left trying to make all of these things about, you know what? No, screw that. I don't understand how these super far left are trying to like make the LGBTQ people so comfortable. Yes, we understand that UX exists, but this is not in the right spaces. Like the consumers is mostly straight men. A man's man. And you want to throw some bullshit at me like this? Yeah, I'm not afraid of just speaking man for real. It's just like, yes, I do try to like make it all fun on the channel, but like right at the same time, I want to keep it real. I want to be honest. And yeah, I'm glad Miss Kennedy is out.
Talk about the male ego. But you can only ignore time and reality for so long. And now that she's 72 years old and basically run out of things to ruin, I guess it was time for her to call it a day. And when she walks out that door at Lucasfilm for the last time, I'm sure she'll be showered with all the praise and awards that Hollywood can bestow on her. She'll have endless bootlicking articles gushing about how she broke glass ceilings and blazed a trail for female producers everywhere, and probably a best-selling autobiography about her incredible career accomplishments. But none of that is going to change the fact that she ran not one but 3 different IPs into the ground with her unique combination of absolute incompetence, boneheaded stupidity, and ego-driven vanity, losing billions of dollars in revenue and turning icons of pop culture into embarrassing, lame failures. And the real question now is, what happens next? Who's going to be given the monumental task of trying to unfuck 10 years of Kathleen Kennedy mismanagement? Well, it ain't going to be Dave Filoni, that's for sure. That guy showed us exactly what he was capable of when he was put in charge of Ahsoka, and as it turns out, it wasn't much. There's no point getting rid of an idiot if you're just going to replace them with a retard.
That's crazy.
And the thing is, even with Kennedy gone, her influence at Lucasfilm's gonna linger on like a fart in an elevator as long as the disciples that she hired are allowed to keep their jobs and keep pushing the same garbage into their work. If Disney actually want to change things and make a genuine effort to bring Star Wars back from the dead, there's gonna have to be the kind of wholesale purge at Lucasfilm that would make Joseph Stalin green with envy. And quite frankly, I don't think they've got the balls to even attempt something like that.
Sorry you had to go, but let's face it, you are a fucking waste of skin.
Wow.
Waste of skin, yeah.
Waste of skin is
Anyway,
crazy.
That's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Like, I feel like the one thing that could save the Star Wars franchise is for you to create the Clone Wars into a series. live action, I feel like if you bring that back and then bring all of the original characters, like from Obi-Wan to Anakin to Mace Windu, now General Grievous, and along with Count Dooku. That I know the actor who plays Count. I know he had passed away, but if they could bring back all of them and then make that into a live action, because even in Ahsoka, it showed what the live action could have been. We've seen Rex in live action. Like, come on, like that's crazy. And we see young Ahsoka. We see Anakin in his Clone Wars Season 1 outfit, which I personally like. I mean, even though the actor who played as Anakin wasn't the voice in the Clone Wars series, just seeing him in that element, it was really cool. Very, very like chills down the spine, man, for real. But yeah, man, like that's how I see how they can bring back Star Wars. Like you make the Clone Wars live action and use the materials from the Old Republic and make that into an action series, because like in the Old Republic, before they did only two Sith, they had like a whole like I ain't gonna say school. It was literally a whole group of just Sith. Like, I know you guys seen the trailers of the Old Republic, the actual game, which, you know, I actually do have it right on my laptop. So I do play it. I sound crazy. I play it every now and then. But man, like, if they could just do that, that would be just perfect. It would be just perfect, man. Like, use Darth Revan and all the other Siths, all the main storylines, the DLC. Put that thing into live action. That's what they got to do. So, I ranted. I'm good for ranting. So I gotta go. If you guys really enjoyed this reaction today, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and share. Let me know in the comment section down below what you to react to next. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, my name is Russell, and I'll see you guys next episode. Peace!